What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and we got a loaded show for you today. Let's first start with our injury report as we got it today. A little early in Andy Reid's press conference, and he had a little request as well. See, in his press conference, he said that if you want the Chiefs to win on Sunday against the Chicago Bears, well, you got to like the Chiefs Report video. It's an easy way to help the Chiefs out, so go down there, press that little like button, and make sure you're helping the Chiefs out get the victory this Sunday against the Bears. All right, let's dive into the injury report today, as during Andy Reid's press conferences, he talked about these 5 players specifically who will not be playing or attending, rather doing anything in practice today. Richie James with the MCL injury, Isiah Pacheco not participating with a hamstring, Kadarius Toney dealing with that toe, Nick Bolton and his ankle, and Willie Jr. with the quad. Now, 2 things to note here. All 5 of these guys are non-participants today in practice, but Nick Bolton and Willie Gay both did walkthroughs this morning. They are just not practicing, whereas Kadarius Toney, Isiah Pacheco, and Richie James all did not do a walkthrough and will not practice today. And those are the 3 guys we are going to focus on. The first one being Richie James, because it was kind of mentioned in the press conference today with Andy Reid that this could be a long-term issue for Richie, as that MCL, no one really knows exactly the full details of what's going on with the injury, but all Andy Reid said was he's dealing with an MCL injury. He has been kind of working on that the past couple of days, and the odds of him playing this Sunday, well, they're kind of slim to none, and it could be a long-term thing. The tests are still coming back. It would be a tough loss for the simple fact that Richie James is the main punt returner and kick returner, so that would have to put in either Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore, but Kadarius Toney was also injured. We'll get to him in just a moment. But another key guy on that injury report that I didn't like to see was Isiah Pacheco, as he had a good game against the Jaguars, 12 carries, 70 yards, and he's day-to-day with a hamstring injury. Again, Andy Reid, not too much on him, said it was just kind of a minor thing, holding him out of practice today to make sure you preserve the season. It's a long season in the NFL. No reason to kind of risk injury with practice. Pacheco, again, just day-to-day, not practicing today. The hope is he could be a limited participant tomorrow and be ready for Sunday's game full strength. And then I mentioned him. The third guy that I want to talk about is Kadarius Toney, because I think out of the injury report, these 3 guys were the main ones. And Kadarius Toney, with that toe issue, he's had this a couple times in his career. It's that toe that just kind of bothering him once again. No reason to risk anything. It's something that he's dealt with in his career. Just let him take the day off. Limited participant is the plan for him tomorrow, and then have him back on Sunday fully for the Chicago Bears. As I think it's going to be a good time for Toney and for Pacheco to kind of see what they can do. They've been limited in terms of kind of play calling and what's exactly been going on with their situations in both the Lions game and the Jaguars game. It's time for the offense to get rolling this Sunday, so make sure everybody is fully ready to go. All right, I talked to you about these injuries. I have to know, because I'm going to be honest, I'm a little concerned. I didn't like seeing 5 guys not practicing today. That was not the thing I was expecting here on Wednesday, and I want to know what your concern level is with these 5 guys. Specifically, Richie James may be the number 1 to look at, along with Kadarius Toney and Isiah Pacheco. So get in the comments today and give me a number, 1 through 10. What is your concern? 1 being I'm not concerned at all, 10 being I'm a little concerned. This is not good. I don't want to see our number 1 running back and technically our number 1 wide receiver not practicing on Wednesday before we have a game against the Chicago Bears. I don't like to see it. I'm going to say probably an 8, but let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Let's talk about the defense a little bit, you see, because they did something that I think people aren't really giving them credit for, and that is holding a really, really good Jaguars team to a, I'm going to say it, impressive stat line. 9 points allowed, 4 sacks, no touchdowns, by the way, and then 1 fumble recovery coming from L'Jarius Sneed. This defense put on an absolute clinic. I mean, let's start with just the pass rushing. Let's go there with the defensive line, because you have Mike Dana, you have George Karlaftis, you have Chris Jones, and you had Derek Nottie. Well, Chris Jones, Karlaftis, and Dana all performed well, getting at least a half sack, with Jones and Karlaftis getting 1.5 sacks. Guys all over the quarterback as well. Each of these guys with a QB hit. Jones and Karlaftis again with 2. They performed so well. And one of the biggest things that's not talked about, I think, is how good this defensive line is, even without Chris Jones. Chris Jones definitely adds another level to this defensive line. But without him, you have Karlaftis, who is a menace over the edge. You have Dana, who is also a menace over the edge. But again, Chris Jones coming back just showed how good this defense is, because if you put him in there, well, this Sunday, it showed right away. There was 24 total pressures on Trevor Lawrence during Sunday's game. He was moving constantly. This defensive line was all over him, always in the backfield. And Trevor Lawrence is a guy who throws the ball really quick. So the fact that they were not only getting back there, but getting back there with haste makes it all the better. And I talked about Chris Jones. Well, this stat's just ridiculous. This coming from Steve Spagnuolo. He's saying that, and this is from PFF, Chris Jones had a 38% rate pass rush win. That's insane. And that's number one in the NFL, regardless of any position. That's just simply insane. 38% of the time, he is winning right off the ball. That is right there exactly what Chris Jones brings to this defense and why they perform so well against the Jaguars on Sunday, and why this defense, I think, will continue to possibly be a top 5 team in the NFL. Now, another thing they did well, they locked down the red zone insanely well. It was insane. They forced the Jags to 2 field goals when they were in the red zone 3 times. 3 times. Only 2 field goals. The other time, they forced Trevor Lawrence to go out on downs. It's just absolutely crazy. I don't know where this defense was coming from because, and I'm going to be completely honest, before the season started, I didn't know if this defense was going to be top 25. Without Chris Jones, I was for sure they weren't going to be top 25. But boy, oh boy, did they prove me wrong, and I love it. Because this defense not only is very good, but even without Chris Jones, they looked really good. And now you add Chris Jones, and I have to ask the question, do you think this Chiefs defense is top 5? Because I certainly think so. If you do, I want you to type me in the comments, because I don't know what this defense cannot do at this point. I was thinking, the Lions, they're a good offensive team, but let's see, it was week 1, that was without Chris Jones. Now you add week 2, and they looked the exact amount of better that I wanted with Chris Jones. So if you think the Chiefs are a top 5 defense in the National Football League, I want you to type me in the comments, get in there, and let me know, because I think we should be spamming me in today's comments. Another thing I want to talk about with this defense is the third down. They have been absolutely incredible there. Just another area where you can look at this defense and say, all right, look, they're doing well in third downs. They held the Jaguars to 3 of 12 on third downs on Sundays. And the Jags last year, they were 10th in 2022 in terms of third down conversion. 10th. Then they got held to 3 of 12, and the Chiefs are now 6th in the NFL in third down conversions against them, with only just under 30% conversion rate for their opponents on third down. I absolutely love what I'm seeing. They're getting off the field and putting exactly what you want with the Chiefs, getting Patrick Mahomes back with the ball in his hands. Now, we've talked about the line. We've talked about the third down defense. There's another area that needs to be talked about, and that's the cornerbacks, because the cornerbacks have been absolutely great. They have been amazing, and I think they deserve some love. Now, the big thing is it's led by Trent McDuffie, who is a young guy. Jalen Watson, also another young guy. L'Jarius Sneed, not necessarily old, but he's not, I'm not going to say a veteran just yet, but when you have these 3 guys roaming the secondary, it's really, really good. Second year Trent McDuffie, second year Jalen Watson. Well, let's just say right here, you're going to have a pretty young quarterback room, and they're still good. They have the 4th youngest cornerback room in all of the NFL with an average age of 24.3. And yet, Trevor Lawrence's QBR, it was 16.5. What? 16.5. Trevor Lawrence, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the AFC, probably behind just a couple of the guys that we've already talked about with Patrick Mahomes. And yet, they forced him to a 16.5 QBR, and on top of which, there was only one secondary player on the entire Chiefs squad that had a 50% pass completion percentage against. That's crazy. One person had it to where it was 50% of the time. That means every other guy in the secondary was making sure that at least half the time, more than half the time, the ball was getting dropped by the receiver if it was thrown their way. I love what I've seen from this defense. I want to see it more, and I want to see it grow and grow and grow each week. And with Chris Jones back, I got to see what this defense can do, because I think right now we may just be getting started with how good this Chiefs defense is. Let's transition topics, because I kind of went hard at you with the defense. let's get a little fun time going because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. It's been the talk of the town around the Kelce family as of the past 2 weeks or so. And today, well, one of the members of the Kelce family, Jace Kelce, Travis's brother, chimed in. He said this on a radio show, saying, this was, again, on if Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were dating. He said, it's hard to answer because I don't really know what's happening in Travis's love life, and I try to keep his business his business. But with that being said, I think he's doing great. I think it's all 100% true. 100% true. And I hope that this goes the mile now. What? Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift dating? Well, Jace Kelce thinks it's 100% true. And here's all I'm going to say. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift may have a love story brewing. And who knows, maybe it will help Kelce play better. And although no matter what, when Trav plays, sparks fly. He looked good this week when he found a blank space in the end zone. And this all came after a knee injury in which Travis Kelce said he was feeling 22 and he just had to shake it off. Although in my wildest dreams, I couldn't have imagined these two coming together. I hope if their love is true, it is enchanted. Well, that's all I got for you today. I need you to subscribe to the Chiefs Report if you like our content. I know you really enjoyed today's show. And if you did, I want you to leave a like. I want you to subscribe. I appreciate you, as always, for watching the video. Again, we'll see you on another Chiefs Report tomorrow. Peace out.